Hey, besties!
Welcome back. This is episode
3.
3. And surprise, we're still talking about Tiffany's pregnancy.
No, I love that.
That is
We
what
left a
this.
couple of things out last time that
Yeah.
we remembered afterwards, and I was like, damn it!
Yeah. Speaking of, I want to get this out of the way. I know you're gonna hate me, but I literally.
I'm scared.
Let's talk about how Tiffany traumatized Bryce.
We need to jump into that. We can't be. How was your weekend? How are you? I haven't seen you in 3 days.
I have a UTI, so that's how my weekend's going. I love that for me.
Actually, what I was thinking before we got into the room for the podcast, that we should title this podcast segment. You know how they all have titles, and be like, my son's stepmom. What was it? Damn, I forgot it. Something about like she traumatized my son. It's like the clickbait thing.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll name this episode. Tiffany traumatized or whatever.
Bryce.
My ex's wife traumatized my son.
In my defense, I was the first one who said that I traumatized him. She didn't, claim it out. I took full ownership. I knew he was traumatized before he got out of the car, and I had to call her and let her know. I'm like, you're gonna have to pay for some therapy lessons.
Good, you should tell them what happened.
Oh my god. So this is a couple of weeks ago, I think, at this point. I think the boys only knew that I was pregnant for like about a week or two, and Megan was going to a concert, right? It was a concert you were going to?
Yeah.
So I had to pick up the boys. And for some reason, I don't know if the kids are like this with you or with me, but they're just very questioning
Every day.
children outside of school. They just ask me like questions. They're super hyper. They're jumping in the car. And I was in like what is that called? There's a thing for it, like something questions.
Like 20 questions?
Kinda. Like, when you're like
Rapid fire.
Rapid questions.
Boom.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a rapid fire question segment with the fucking kids, and they surprised me. Was not expecting. I was tired. Probably woke up for a nap before I picked them up, and they were asking me questions. They started with if I knew it was a boy or girl. Super simple. Didn't know, so I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted a specific gender. I think Michael was like, which one would you prefer? And I was like, I'd prefer a girl, but I'd be happy with like either or whatnot. Because, I watch what I say with these kids. I'm not trying to have Michael, telling a newborn child, she didn't want you. So said that I was, whatever. And I think I made a joke. I was like, as long as it's not an alien. And he's like, but why not?
Oh my god.
What did Bryce ask? Oh, Bryce was asking if the baby poops inside me. So am I walking around with a bunch of poop inside me? Which, is a typical 6-year-old question. And I didn't know because I think I was telling Mike, I was like, I told the kids that the baby doesn't poop. And Mike was like, yeah, the baby poops in there. And I'm like, I didn't know that.
No,
so am I really walking around with little shits inside me?
No, the baby's first poop comes out when you give birth. It's called meconium.
So baby doesn't poop inside me?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, now I'm getting misinformation. I just need to know if I'm walking around with poop or not.
Nope.
That isn't my own.
Baby's first poop comes out, which is why, like, when
And it
you're
has
in
a
labor.
name?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Does it look like
But
poop?
if the baby poops inside of you,
I know they can accidentally ingest it.
which is why they can't poop, because it would be in the amniotic fluid, and then they would be, like, drinking it.
Yeah. Ugh.
So baby does not have, the baby does not poop in you.
I love that. Well, I think I told Bryce that the baby doesn't poop inside me because they thought it was really
Well,
funny.
you need to tell Mike.
I will update that. And then Michael asked me if the baby is just like sitting down inside my belly or is the baby floating in midair. And I said the baby's technically kind of floating in water, which turned into like a 20-minute laughing session that they think the baby's just like free balling its life inside. They were laughing and they were saying, if I'm laughing, the poor baby's already like spinning in circles and stuff. And I was like, not
Like
exactly, but kind of. Yeah. I'm like, you freaking crazy kids. And then Michael comes out with, I'm trying to remember what the exact question was. Am I gonna have to be cut open to like have the baby? Which surprised me because I knew what he was referencing to. I just didn't know that he knew what that was because I know you gave birth vaginally for both kids.
Yeah.
So I was so surprised when Michael said that. And I was like, no. And he was like, well, wouldn't you want to do that? Because that's so much easier. Which I'm also wanting to know where he gets that from, that it's so much easier to have a C-section.
Maybe it's because he's thinking that, like,
they just like cut the baby out rather than
pushing. You don't have to push and all that.
So he asked me that, and I said, honestly, because I'm trying to be honest with the kids, and I'm like, I'd prefer not to have a C-section. I was like, because there could be complications and dangers for both mom and baby. I was an emergency C-section baby because I was dying or wrapped around the umbilical cord. So I told him it was dangerous. And he's like, well, how can it be dangerous? And I was like, moms and babies can die from C-sections. Thinking nothing of it, just, give the information, being as honest as possible, saying, but whatever happens, happens. Did not know I gave Bryce a mini panic attack in the back seat. And Bryce is just quiet, processing all the information. And then I just hear it with his little mouse voice. He's like, I don't want you to have the surgery. And I was like, I'm not going to. And he was just so scared if I have to have the surgery, then I'm just like gonna die. And I was like,
I
oh no.
can't.
And I explained, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have to have it or not. I was like, it's not, that doesn't mean you're gonna die if you have it. I'm like trying to save myself. And I'm like, damn, I don't have to tell Megan because now Bryce is over there panicking about C-sections.
I know. And plus all that information after like, because that was around the same time I had my surgeries and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So he just
I was trying to be honest. Surgeries are like a big deal, like a dangerous thing, but I think all he equated to was like surgery equals
death.
death. Which I felt so bad for.
Yeah, I told him. I mean, I think it's because you said C-sections were like really dangerous, and so
Well, yeah, I said I was like cutting someone open is dangerous
yeah,
because it is. I
I
thought I was
know. I'm like,
having a conversation technically with the 12-year-old,
I
not
mean,
the 6-year-old.
technically, you can die from giving birth vaginally too, but I told him I had to have a conversation with him because if you guys watch our other like day in the life videos, like he mentions it like twice about how he doesn't want the baby to hurt Tiffany, and he's like very concerned.
He's not that excited for the
Yeah,
baby to
he's
come out
actually not.
anymore.
Yeah, like he says in one of our, I think it was our video last week. He's like, I'm like, are you excited? And he's like, kind of. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I don't want the baby to hurt her. And I'm like, the baby's not gonna hurt her. He's very concerned.
Uh,
And yeah, ever since then, his answer is like, kind of. It's like, I don't know.
I know. Definitely
Poor
scared
thing.
him with that.
Traumatized him for sure. Um, but yeah, I can't
I
believe
just
you.
didn't expect it. Like, didn't expect to be asked those questions. It's every single time in the car when I'm with them that I'm texting you that I'm like, help! I'm like, I think I messed up. He was just so scared. I could see him in the back seat, and I was like, damn, I messed up. And I was like, I
I try
messed
to
up.
be honest with them, which is why I knew that Michael knew what a C-section was because I was a C-section baby. And I think Travis was as well. So, I mean, like, we have talked about it
Hmm.
openly. I mean, I didn't have a C-section, but I was supposed to have a C-section with Bryce.
Hmm.
He actually was born, like, I was supposed to go in on, like, a Monday, and he was born the previous Wednesday.
Hmm.
So, and I think I was talking to Michael about it then, and he was, like, 6 years old because I would have
Yeah,
had, like, kind of, like, preparing him.
but that was like a planned C-section,
Yeah,
right?
they
Okay.
had a date and everything.
Yeah.
They were like, "You're gonna come in," because he was a high risk. But he ended up coming early, so I love that for him.
I love that. I was trying to explain to Michael, like, because there's so many different instances for C-sections. Like a planned one when the baby's still in there, like an emergency one, like in my case. But by that time, and I think what happened, the question before the C-section was, how is the baby coming out? Because that's when I
Oh,
started with Bryce
yeah.
that I was like, huh? Because like I get it with Michael, it would be like a lot easier, but Bryce was like, how is the baby coming out of you? And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, what did Megan tell them?
No,
I'm
I
just
mean, I've told them, like, the truth. Like, my kids, like, when Michael was really little, I, tried to do the whole, like, oh, just, like, making shit up, but it
you
ended
said you
up
pooped them
being
out.
yeah, like, I pooped him out, like, someone put a bean in my belly, like, and it just
Uh-huh.
ended up not working. So I tell him, like, my kids know I have a period every month, especially
Hmm.
with Bryce being in the freaking stall with me and stuff. Like, he sees things and, whatever. I have a period and it means I'm not having a baby,
Yeah.
basically, and it only happens to girls and, whatever. Bryce is asking, where's your penis? Like, why don't you have a penis? And I'm like, it's because I call it a lady part. I have a lady part. I don't have a penis, and I'm like, that's where the baby comes out of. That's why mommies can have babies guys can't have babies because you
Yeah.
guys have a boy part and I have a girl part, just like So he knows the baby's coming out of there.
Well, it just took me by surprise.
Maybe he doesn't think that you have one because he's never seen it.
No, he ain't gonna see it. I'm saying
Maybe he
that
thinks you have
much.
a boy part. I don't know, but he knows there's no baby coming out of my butt.
I just didn't know like what words he knew, and I was just not. I did not want to be the person. That story about the whole Michael and the gay thing that I thought I messed up. Like I
Yeah,
cannot be
I'm gay
teaching
for
these kids.
daddy.
Michael was so little, and he asked me what gay was, and it was me again. I'm always in the fucking hot seat. Michael wanted to know what gay was, and I wanted to be as appropriate as possible. I said, it's when that's where I messed up. It's when a man like loves a man because it was just I think what maybe Michael saw two guys together, and that's what made me think a man loves a man. I was like, super
Hmm.
simple, love is love. Michael went around telling everyone that he was gay for his dad. And I
I
was
love
like,
that for
oh, I messed up.
him.
I was like, Megan's gonna kill
Yeah, that's before we were like really close. But I didn't care. I mean, it is what it
I
is.
didn't
I'll
know
have to
how
have
else
a
to
conversation
explain
with
it.
Bryce.
So I didn't know if like Bryce knew what a vagina was, and then I go and say vagina, and then Bryce is gonna be like, babies come out of vaginas, and tell the whole
Yeah.
class, and then I'm in trouble all over again.
Yeah, that's why I don't say vagina yet.
That's why I was like, I wasn't sure. The lady at the Prego Expo, completely off topic, it was a doctor talking about vagina, and she was like, she grabs the mic and she's like, vagina's not a bad word. Vagina's a normal word. You have a head, you have ears, and you have a vagina. Because when she said
Head,
vagina,
shoulders,
people were
knees,
kind of like,
vagina.
ooh, they were all shocked when she said vagina. She's like, it is a perfectly normal word. You do not have to be ashamed about it. And then she goes, vagina, vagina, vagina.
No, it's true. It's true. Well, I just started saying penis around Bryce because remember Bryce used to call it tiny whiny.
Okay, but that was adorable.
He'd be like, my tiny whiny. And I'm
It wasn't tiny whiny. It was Maximus
tiny
tiny
whiny.
whiny.
I can't be dealing with the tiny whiny anymore.
My favorite bonding moments when Bryce would just talk
know.
about it with the deep voice for Maximus and the squeaky voice for
Girl,
Tiny Whiny. I would
can't.
be in tears. And
so
you would be like,
over.
Bryce, don't say that. And I'm
I
like, I can't keep
know.
saying
I'm
it.
like,
You keep saying it, boo.
Stop calling it a tiny whiny. I'm like, it's a penis. So
That used to make my day. Can't
girl,
have him
these
say
kids, I
penis
can't.
now. That was too cute. Let him be 30 years old saying that.
No, I didn't do it because of that. I did it because, something happens in school, God forbid, and we have to go to court. Apparently, I heard that you have to be able to, like...
Name the parts.
Yeah, court won't take tiny whiny.
Yeah.
So, you gotta be able to... He did something to my penis or whatever. So, that's why I did that. So, take that note to protect your kids.
Speaking of that, another completely on topic. Michael's afraid of the word titties.
Michael's afraid of the word titties.
Mike said something, and Michael went up to me. He's like, "Yeah, Daddy said the T word," and I was like, what the? I could not think of what the T word. And
Maybe he thinks it's a bad word.
He's like, I told Michael, I was like, it's not a bad word. He's like, I don't want to say it. And Mike's like, just say titties. It's not a bad word. Titties, titties, titties. And Michael was like, why? And I was like, you won't get in trouble. Like, I mean, if you think we're setting you up or not, I was like, it's just a word. And he will not. He says the T word. He avoids it at all costs.
Maybe he thinks he'll get in trouble. I
think
know.
so. I think he thinks it's like a vulgar word. I'm like,
oh my god.
Or maybe it's weird to be like titties. I don't know. No idea. But you should ask him. Be like, what's that thing you got?
He doesn't got titties though. Mike's got titties.
Or just show him the balls and be like, Michael, what are these?
Oh no.
Yeah, he was really, really scared. And I was like, it's not and I told him, I was like, it's not a bad word. It's just like, if anything, it's like a silly word because it's really like breasts and stuff. But no, he was like, the T word. Daddy was talking about the T word. And I was like, what T word?
Testicles?
I know. It was titties.
Titties. Oh my god, that's funny. So anyway, we should talk about what are some things that you are worried about? I'll start. What are some things you're worried about? I'll start. Okay. With the pregnancy. So
wait, are you gonna say things you're worried about me?
No, that we've talked about that I was like, that'd be really good on the podcast. Pooping on the baby. Pooping while pregnant. Let's talk about that.
Let me read it. I'm not worried about pooping on the baby. That's not my fear.
You're worried about someone seeing you poop.
I'm worried about if the doctor's seeing the poop. If the child gets pooped on, the child gets pooped on. It is what it is. What is that?
I don't think you can.
Circle of life.
I don't think you can poop on your baby because your baby comes out the vag and the butthole is like at the bottom.
Yeah, if anything, the baby would land on the poop like a cushion.
I don't think so. The people who are always like, this podcast is so immature.
There goes our ratings again, even lower.
I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer if you don't. But yeah, that's like a legit fear. I was trying to tell her most women poop when you're giving birth. Like that's literally how they tell you to push, and they don't let you eat beforehand or while you're there. So that there's a less chance that you poop, but girl, people are gonna see you poop.
My worry is because you told me, oh, it'll just be like one little pellet thing. But you know me, and it's not gonna be just a little pellet thing. That's my concern.
They're gonna wipe. They take like a little, and I know this from experience because your girl pooped. Okay, they take a little rag and they just like wipe it.
They're gonna be there for a minute. This is all I'm gonna say.
You better hope you have an evening poop where you pooped everything out beforehand. Because if it's first thing in the morning, you're gonna be like, "Oh no, it's actually time for me to go."
I'm very routine in my schedules for the bathroom.
I love that for
Yeah,
you.
I think that's what concerned me is when you were like, "Oh, it's just gonna be a little bit." I'm like, "When have
Oh
I
my
ever
god!
done a
And
little bit in
Mike's
my
gonna be
whole
like
entire
looking.
life?"
Mike's gonna be looking down there because he's nosy as fuck.
Mike's gonna be
He's
like,
gonna be like, "What's going on?" And
"Megan!"
he's gonna see something. And he's gonna be like, "Ow!" Yeah, exactly. And he's gonna call me in there and be like, "Megan, I need you to
Megan!
clean Tiffany up."
I know every time Mike panics with any bowel movements that I may have done, he has to reach out for Megan.
Anything. Bowel is just poop though, so
Oh,
pee too.
what
If
is
Tiffany pees herself, I have to clean her up every single time for years, not just when she was pregnant.
I know that's
She
too
throws
funny.
up on herself. I have to clean her up. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Well, we did a what is it called? A poll, not a poll, kind of a poll on Facebook and Instagram asking people what their weirdest pregnancy symptoms. And the amount of people that were saying like I pee myself and I'm like, I have been doing that since like 18
Yeah,
years old, guys.
I
That is
know.
not a symptom I'm
I don't
concerned
think that's a
about.
symptom of pregnancy. Like, is that though?
Some women say they've never peed themselves and they didn't just start peeing themselves
Well,
until
it's because you
they
have
became
something
pregnant.
literally weighing on your
Yeah.
bladder.
But I have no excuse. I've been doing that for the longest.
Yeah, Tiffany, she stays peeing on herself.
Yeah, like I would sneeze and that's it, pee. And
Me
then ever since I got the freaking kidney stone surgery, it's even worse, unfortunately. So when people were telling me that is that their embarrassing symptom, I'm like, that's a Tuesday for me.
How many times we've been at my house and we've been drinking or something, and she's like, "I'm peeing myself." I'd give her a pair of leggings.
No, at the school when we were trying to go to Bryce's thing, and
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, it happens all the time.
She
Megan
just
said
have
I
a
need to bring a
backup
change
kit.
of clothes,
Yeah,
like
bring
the
a backup.
kids.
It's gonna be you're packing the baby diaper bag, pair of clothes for the baby, pair
Pair
of
of
clothes
clothes
for
for me.
Tiffany. Because
It's
it gets
so
worse
bad.
after you give birth. Like
I don't know how much worse can it get for me.
you're
With
just
my
gonna have
kidney
to
stone
get
surgery,
a
I can't even
catheter.
hold it. Like once I pee, it's full blown. The whole entire freaking pee that's inside me comes
I love
out.
that for you. You know, people walk around with like a colostomy bag. People,
That's what I'm gonna need
you're gonna need a pee
a
one.
urine bag.
A urine bag, yeah.
Oh, I love that for me. And it doesn't help that I sneeze all the time too, which makes it even worse.
I know, because your allergies.
But yeah, so the poop was very concerning. Just because I know how I am. I am not a small pooper,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
What else are you
I'm trying to think of what we talked
concerned
about.
with?
Concerned with like for the pregnancy or concerned for symptoms?
Everything. You could talk about how you think Mike stinks.
Oh yeah, so we could do the story time on that because it was a 6 minute clip that I had to cut into a 1 minute clip because I was trying to defend Mike and myself and all these things. So a couple of weeks ago, I've been struggling to be close to Mike. He like wants to cuddle and hug me, and I want to throw up. This is plain and simple. And I really was. I didn't know what it was. I was like, maybe he's just like. It's not that he's not washing himself enough. I knew he was washing himself enough, but I was like, maybe he's taking quicker showers than he usually does. I don't know. So for a while I was like holding it in and I was like, I don't know like what to say. And I sat him down and I was
She's like
like,
texting me on the side, being like, Mike stinks.
I didn't know. Like I felt so bad because I was like, one, does he really stink? And I'm just like, who are you? And then that's when I was thinking, I was like, is this a sign when you're like out of love with someone?
She's like, do I need to get a divorce?
Like, you know how people say, like, they're like, oh, I broke up with him and then he looks completely different now. So then I'm like, man, like, is him stinking like a sign? Like, Tiffany, you're done with him. Like, it's over. And I was like, damn, this
You
really
got the baby, you
sucks.
can finally leave.
So I, like, sat down with him and I was like, I'm going to have to tell him the truth because I can't spend another minute with him trying to cuddle with me. And he was like, you keep pushing me away. And I'm like, damn right I am. Like, I have to. And I told him, I was like, I think you just stink. So he went in the shower, took a shower, brushed his teeth, and came out. I was like, that's a little better. And then an hour later, and I was like, oh no, it's back. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, did you put, like, very casually, like, did you forget to put deodorant on? And he's like, no. And I'm like, how much toothpaste did you use?
I want to go check your toothbrush.
I'm like, are you washing everywhere? Like, the little lipids? Like, I was like, I don't fucking get it. And I was telling Megan, and I was like, I feel so shitty because he stinks so bad. And Megan's like, yeah, that's completely normal. And I was like, it doesn't feel normal.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about you hated his cologne. And I was like, but it's him.
Yeah, I hated his cologne. But to be fair, like I said, when I was pregnant with Michael and with Bryce, like I didn't spend a whole lot of time with either spouse because they were both working. Mike was working like 3 jobs. Travis was working also 3 jobs, so,
Oh, I get
I
that.
didn't really spend a whole lot of time with them. I mean, I did, but, to that extent. So I don't know, I remember his cologne, I couldn't stand the smell of his cologne, so he stopped wearing it and he switched to something else.
I was gonna say, so you just like the natural scent? Because that's what I've been struggling with lately is
I
the
just
natural
couldn't
scents.
stand I couldn't wear perfume myself, like, I had to switch my deodorant because my sense of smell was, I mean, I'm sure you know, so strong. Like, it would, like, almost, like, burn my nose, and it would make me, like, nauseous.
I keep calling it like the worst superpower ever because
Ever.
ever. I struggle with speaking too, but that's besides the point. I feel like I could like get up from bed and automatically smell like the dogs, and I'm like, are you
Mhm,
fucking kidding me? Like I smell everything. Like I could tell what you ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the
mhm.
worst.
You know what sucks too is Travis wears that same cologne, so he had to stop wearing it too.
Really?
Yep.
No, I actually asked Mike before going to bed if he could please put on some cologne because I like the cologne. I'm still like I can go through. My mom and I went through Bath and Body Works at the mall, and she's like, "It's not bothering you," and I'm like, "No, like the scented stuff smells so good to me." I'm like, "It's people. Like people stink.
Their pheromones.
Food stinks, but like perfumes, colognes, candles, like I'm still obsessed with all of that." Have no issues with that because she thought I was gonna like go into Bath and Body Works and like throw up.
That would've been me. I couldn't even walk in Lush.
Really?
Like, if I went to the
We
mall,
were at Lush too. Oh my
oh
god, it smelled
my
like heaven
god,
in
I could
there.
smell like, I could walk into the mall and be like, "There's a Lush here." Like,
Really?
it was yeah, it would, like, burn the inside of my nose, all the freaking scents and stuff. Like, I had to switch our laundry detergent to, like, a clean and clear, fragrance-free,
Uh-huh.
like, I could not do smells. Like, it would
Mm-mm.
burn my fucking nose.
That's so crazy. No, I like the nice clean scents. Like I put freaking lavender on my pillow, put the candles on. I'm like, oh my god, it smells so much better. Like if I could walk around with the Bath and Body Works candle in my hand 24/7,
That's
I
what you
probably
need to
would.
do. You need to get a candle and have your food over here, and then maybe you could eat.
Pretend game,
Yeah, take a
pumpkin
big whiff,
spice, yeah.
and then take a bite.
Cedar wood, burger. Yeah, it's food. And actually, someone brought it up, which I thought was super cool. They were like, it's hot food that smells the worst. I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
I'm eating cold shit all the time. I ate cold soup the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand the smell of any type of food, like anything that would smell nice. We went to hibachi for Travis's birthday, and I was like,
Oh,
I hate
yeah.
my fucking life.
Dude, that hibachi was good as hell.
And I'm sure the thing is, I'm sure it smells good to everyone else, and I'm sure it's a great smell, but it was just like, I just, no. It just smelled like I was
Mm.
sitting next to a trash can 24/7, and then people were eating it, and I'm like, oh God.
You're like, "I'm gonna be sick."
Could not do it. But the next day, leftovers from the fridge, like cold rice, was amazing. 10 out of 10
Dang.
recommend.
I just got really nauseous. I love that for me.
I love that for you too.
Yee. Um,
So the smells have been very much the struggles, and I thought it was just me. I did the poll to ask people the symptoms, and no one said that they hated their husbands. So I was like, damn, it is just a me thing. But then I went on forums, and pregnancy forums have been the best thing I've ever joined, ever.
they can also be very scary because remember, everyone has their own
Mm-hmm.
experience. Just because it happens to someone else doesn't mean it's gonna happen
I
to you.
know. I've seen stories about other things that I'll tell you
I
later.
know.
I won't put it on here because then we have to do a trigger thing. But there was women who were talking about how they would have to hold their breaths to like hug and kiss their husbands, and I was in tears because I don't have to hold my breaths. I mean, we do super quick like
High
hugs,
fives.
so not like holding my breath. There was women who said that like they, on top of being grossed out by their husbands, they were so mad that they would beg their husbands to like punch them in the face. And I'm like, what? And some woman's like, I would just bite my husband every time I was angry.
Ew.
Which also now I get it though, because like the last few days have been driving me insane. I was like, I can see why women wanted to punch their
Girl,
husbands now.
I wanna punch him too, but that's just a normal thing for me.
And
And
some
Travis
lady
be
said
getting on
that.
my nerves too.
Some lady said she wanted to punch her husband too. She's like, but I'm not even pregnant.
That's me. Did I comment that? My husband's got me on a strict budget and I'm very salty about it. I'm very upset.
He sat
So
her down. What was it the thing that you said? He put you on house arrest or
yeah,
he
I feel like I'm
grounded
on
you?
freaking grounded. Like he's got like alerts on my credit card and stuff because he says I just spend too much money, and I'm like, yeah, I do. But
It was that after telling him about the pumpkin pillows, you're like, I'm not gonna want anything after this.
I know he's like, "Yeah, okay, so now it's pumpkin. Okay, so I really want these Sherpa pillows. Okay, they're so adorable. They were all over TikTok.
They're not regular pillows.
They're shaped like pumpkins and they're super soft. They're super cute. They would look amazing on my couch because I want to get the cream ones. And I've been looking everywhere for them. I checked Home Goods, I checked Marshalls, I checked TJ Maxx, everywhere. And And they're all gone. Like, everyone's been buying those
Yeah.
pillows. So I found them at Joann's yesterday. I've been searching high and low, y'all. I've been looking on Amazon, like, everywhere for these damn pillows. They were $24 a piece. Okay. And I went through my closet and I went to the boys' closet and I sold some stuff. Granted, I only got $30.
She made a whole whopping
I know, I got
$30.
$30. I still have a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna attempt to sell some more. Maybe like down south by me. But so I found the fucking pillows and they were on sale for $10 a piece. It was $24 for one. I found them
Yeah.
on Shein for $10 a piece. Is the quality good? I don't know, but I'm so desperate at this point because now that I can't spend money, that's all I think about.
Is wanting to spend
Is
money.
I never wanted to spend money more now than I'm not allowed to. So I told him, I was like, I'm gonna get them. I was like, I made $30 with selling my stuff. So I'm gonna buy 3 of these pillows. And I was like, either I'm gonna buy them now, or I'll wait till next year when they're full price. And he
No,
was just like, I have to go.
what killed me was when you were like, I'm not gonna want anything after this.
No, that's what he said. He was like, so now it's pumpkin pillows. What's it gonna be tomorrow? And I was like, I don't want anything else.
And I'm over here sitting in the corner dying because I'm like, Christmas is coming.
Christmas, the thing with Christmas is
They're gonna come out with Christmas like tree looking pillows, and you're gonna be
no,
like,
you know what they had? They had gingerbread ones. They were like
that
little
actually is really cute.
I know, and I'm like, damn, I gotta go get it. It was at Joann's too. But damn.
If I gotta go to Joann's then, I don't think I've been there in a minute.
The only reason I saw them because they had the pumpkin pillows outside, like in the little crates.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, damn, those are cute as hell. I would have never known.
You went there after Cheapskate?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. But so I don't know, whatever. So I was decorating for Christmas like years before I started decorating for fall. So I have a lot more Christmas
Yeah.
stuff than I do fall stuff. I just started like my collecting fall stuff. You know, I buy a little bit each year, mostly after it's already passed and all the,
Yeah.
the stuff's on clearance. I buy stuff and then the next year I put that stuff out, and then when stuff goes on clearance again, I buy more. So I do need more fall stuff because I'm still collecting shit.
Yeah.
My Christmas stuff, I'm not so worried about. I mean, I might get those gingerbread pillows, we'll see, but I'm pretty good on Christmas. Like, I can't really decorate my tree anymore because the cats fucking destroy it.
And it looks like Christmas threw up at your house.
Yeah, I have too many themes. I would like to maybe go through my Christmas stuff this year and kind of get rid of some stuff, especially, you know, I still have stuff from when Mike and I were married that was just cute, but it just doesn't matter. I want to get down to a theme. Like, eventually when you sell your plaid stuff, I might just buy that.
I know, I bought a whole black collection that Megan's waiting because I said,
well, I have half of it. Like, I bought half the stuff too, but you have the full collection.
I have the full collection. I said one year that if we ever had a kid, I wanted to do a pink themed. Mm-hmm. Granted, it needed to be a girl, unfortunately. I didn't have a boy themed in mind. And now that we do, I do want to do a pink thing next year. But Mike says if I want pink stuff, I have to sell the rest of myself. But I got a buyer who needs to be not grounded.
Possibly.
Troy's gonna be so pissed. I know. Be like, you went from shopping at stores, you're shopping at Tiffany's now.
I know. Be like, I saved some money. I don't know. I gotta see.
She's so desperate. She's buying Tiffany's stuff.
There's no receipt and there's no money trail.
That's the best way though. He's like, how did you get all this shit?
He's like, this is a lot more than I remember last year. But you know what'll help me too is it's the same fucking theme.
It is.
Like, I already have half the stuff that she has. I would just have duplicate.
And they no longer sell them in stores, so he can check all he wants. You didn't go to the store and buy it.
Technically, I love loopholes, man. That's what I'm gonna have to do. So you have to let me know when you saw that because
he's gonna be shocked as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember all this, and you should be like, I didn't get it from the store.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go shopping on like the black market or something.
She got desperate.
For real. Anyway, so that's what my life's been going on. Got a fucking UTI and I got grounded. Like, he literally has an alert on our credit card. And he's like, what did you spend $49 on? And I'm like, I feel like a teenager.
Girl, I hate those. Mike texts me. Like, I don't even have the receipt in my hand yet.
I know.
Mike is like, why'd you spend $11.69 on? Like,
I know. That's what he's doing to me. I'm like, I've never, but granted, has my spending kind of gotten out of control? Yes. But you have to spend money to make money. And I work on Amazon. Like, what do you want me to do? That's literally my job. That's what I tell myself, at least. Have I been honest?
From fucking Amazon.
They sell them on Amazon.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is that the $24 ones?
They're $20 on Amazon. That's the exact same one. Because a lot of the stuff from Shein, people buy from Shein and they resell it on Amazon. Yeah.
I try to think of all the other weird pregnancy symptoms. I had a couple that I saw that other people were saying. I was like, oh my God, that is really weird. But I forget them. That whole forgetfulness is working overtime in my fucking head.
Can we talk about for a second, just because I wanted to mention this in this podcast because I thought it was funny. We were kind of talking about it beforehand, how we put up a thing. I put up something saying like, What are some things that you thought was, like, a waste of money? And then I did, Tiffany, we were supposed to go to the pregnancy expo. I couldn't go because 1, Michael was sick, and 2, my UTI just makes me incredibly nauseous with these antibiotics like I'm feeling right now. It's the worst. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. But I put on there, what are some things that you must have? And the comments, guys, you guys are ruthless. I fucking can't.
I,
A
I did
father,
a stable
a
home.
happy home.
I was dying.
Like, what? Obviously, I'm talking like
That you could buy
that you
on Amazon.
used. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Like
what you needed was
swaddles.
a die hard, I couldn't have had a kid without this product type of thing.
Yeah. Y'all were ruthless. Not divorced parents.
I know. I was going down the list and I was like, are you serious? Just like passing through. It was funny though, because on that other one that you said what was a waste of money, some guy was like, the mother.
He bought her?
I don't know. I ended up blocking him because he seemed like a very negative person. But I was like, damn, like who hurt
I
you?
know. I'd be blocking a lot of people. There's a lot of stupid fucking people on Facebook.
I know. I
And
went
I
to
stay blocking
the
them.
so many times. I can't stand people. I went to the Prego Expo on Sunday with Mike and my mom, and I don't know if the Prego Expo is meant for like women who are like just about to pop or maybe have already had kids. There was a lot like that was geared towards like your second kid, your third kid, like the strollers I was telling you. There were strollers to hold multiple kids. There was things that there was like you can hold a baby in a stroller and then do this with your toddler that I was like doesn't really apply to me because I only have one child.
Hmm.
Um but I was definitely very overwhelmed and lost because people were asking me like, "What are the must-haves on your registry that you like want to find at the Prego Expo and stuff like that?" And I don't know how to tell people like, I don't know what I need. Like we were at the OBGYN appointment, my first one that like just to confirm the pregnancy, and the doctor was talking about like Lamaze classes and classes to take before birth. And I'm like, "What is that?" And Mike and her
I
are
never
looking
took
at
a
me.
Lamaze class.
They're both like, "You don't know what that is?" And I'm like, I have never given birth. Do you think I just searched this shit up for fun of like what I should be doing? I'm like, I have no idea. Don't know like what you need. Don't know like what's a must
Colostrum
have.
is.
Yeah, like I don't know anything. Like,
Are you reading your book or like reading your app every day?
no.
That helps you a lot, girl. I'm telling you. We'll read it together.
The app did tell me. I mean, it tells me like it's pretty spot on with my symptoms. Like I was telling you, it's like you're gonna have more sinus issues, and then it explained why. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh my god, I'm going through tissue boxes like every 3 days. Especially for someone who already has sinus issues.
Hmm.
So it's been really good with the symptoms, telling me what to expect for my body, but like what to like they were like must haves for labor and delivery. They're like, do you know what you're gonna pack in your labor and delivery bag?
You
And
have
I'm like,
time. That's like the whole
I don't
thing.
know.
Like those ladies that were there, like I called it and I was like, is everyone there pretty much like ready to pop like big? Like you
Mhm.
said you were the smallest one there.
Mhm.
Those ladies, they're thinking about those things. You're not
Yeah.
thinking about those things yet. You have literally months. You
Yeah.
have like 4 months,
Don't
5 months to think about that. Like you've got time. And your app will, help you
Yeah.
think about that. Like you don't even need to think about it. I didn't pack either one of my bags until I was like fucking 9 months pregnant.
Oh, I love that. I didn't even know, like, I know you're supposed to pack a bag because I've seen it like on Grey's Anatomy, and then I want people
Hmm.
walk in with bags, but like, I didn't know like what are must haves to have like in there. People are saying like, oh, the question the lady was asking, she's like, what type of mom are you gonna be? And I was like,
I guess I'll figure it out.
she's like, are you gonna be like an environmentalist mom, a minimalist mom, a practical mom? And there was like a fourth mom, and I was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
She's like, what type of bottles do you prefer to use? And I'm like, I just found out that there was like, you told me about the holes in the nipples of the bottles. I'm like,
Yeah.
I did not before I was pregnant do any research about what a pregnant person might need to know because I wasn't pregnant. So I didn't look up any of that shit.
You will, I promise you, like, you'll be fine. Like, I didn't either. And, like, I wasn't close with my mom when I was pregnant with Michael. Like, I didn't really, it was just Mike and I, like,
Yeah.
literally. Like, I was somewhat close with my dad, but I told you, like, me and my dad didn't get super close until after I had my kids.
Hmm.
So, you know how I found out about the nipple thing? I went and bought bottles from Target, the Aveeno, whatever, the Advent or whatever. I bought the wrong one, and Michael wasn't eating.
Uh-huh.
So, or it was going too fast. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why is this happening? And then I saw on the box, it said 3 to 6 months or whatever. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh shit.
Oh, was he like a baby?
Yeah, he was like a newborn. And I'm
Okay.
like, oh shit. So Mike and I took our ass to fucking Target and we looked and we figured it out. Oh, this makes sense. Same thing
Yeah.
with pacifiers. Like the pacifiers we were given at our baby shower, like no one bought us newborn ones. And I didn't
Yeah, you were when you
know.
were telling me to look to make sure
Yeah.
that it was. I didn't even know that there was like a
Like
tiered system.
you're gonna figure it out. Like you're a smart girl. You'll be all right.
I'm
You
sorry.
don't need to spend like hours and hours and hours researching. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff is self-explanatory. It has ages on there, like
Yeah.
diapers, like the things that you okay, well, can my baby fit in this? Like, girl, let me tell you, Mike is an idiot. So Michael was a little baby. This is how dumb we both were. Okay, so we went to Target to buy some stuff after Michael was born, and the kid could he couldn't like hold himself up yet, like he wasn't able to sit up yet. And he could hold his
Michael?
head up,
Mhm.
but like he couldn't sit up on his own. Like I think he must have been around like 3 months. Girl, we put him in one of
In the
those.
car seat? In the
No, Mike took one of those display bouncer things where they can like turn and like they have like all the toys around them, and he put Michael in there.
he just flipped over?
Michael fell over and hit his head. It's not funny, but I'm like, oh my god, then Michael's crying, and Mike's like freaking out because he took the display down.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh my god, it turns out Michael can't get one of those yet. Like we didn't know,
Yeah.
like so
That's too
you'll
funny.
you'll figure it out. Like the amount of times I hit that poor kid's head turning the corner,
Yeah.
getting out of the car, like my kids are
Oh
fine.
my God. They're
They're
fine-ish.
fine. But you'll figure it out. And then the next time you're pregnant, like it's gonna be like a walk in the park.
Oh, I'm sure it is because people were saying. I mean, the lady was saying how like a lot of first-time moms get unnecessary items in their registry because
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to get everything and everything. But she said to do that because she's like, I guess what works for one baby may not work for another. So
Yeah.
like, don't not try it just because your baby doesn't like it or someone else told you that their baby didn't like
Mm-hmm.
it. So I was like, okay. And then they were like, well, what are some must things that like you want to do? And like, are you wanting to baby wear all the time? Are you wanting to do this and that? And I'm like, no fucking
Baby wearing
idea.
was amazing. Travis did it a lot more than I did. Um, he would walk around all the time.
Just wearing the baby.
Travis would be in the garage, and you could see like Bryce and Travis have that sweet blood with the mosquitoes or whatever. I have tons of pictures. Probably
Oh,
not the
baby
best.
Bryce.
Again,
Broken arm,
Bryce,
didn't have.
yeah, he's got like bite marks from like mosquitoes because Travis would just wear him like in the garage.
Yeah.
Like,
That poor little baby. He's already chunky as it is. You're adding
yeah,
those little extra inches of
yeah,
the bug bites.
he would, yeah. Travis would just put him in the little baby thing and just walk around for hours with them. I didn't do that. I just like carried him, or I would walk him in the chair, but or in the little bouncer, have my foot going. Pop, 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 pop,
No, I
pop,
love
pop.
that. That's the one thing that I think I need to put in the registry. You were talking about it, but when I Googled bouncer, something else came up, and I was like,
No, I think it's called like a bouncing chair or something. That thing saved my life, girl. For Bryce, oh my god, that was amazing. It was so light. I could take it anywhere. I could
mm-hmm.
bring it to work with me, and I could just bounce my foot on it, and he would just bounce.
They
He'd fall
have it that's
asleep in
it's
there.
automatic now.
Girl, I wouldn't work. It had to be like it had to be a certain speed.
I didn't see it, but I did. I mean, I didn't see it like in person, but they said it's automatic now. It has 3 different settings, and I think it like does this and it does swaying. That someone was talking about it, and then they were like making a joke on the seminar thing, because a lot of people were there with their parents, and they were like the old way like versus the new way, with like all the parents saying like, you don't need that, this is how I did it, and they're like, there's
Mm-hmm.
just so many things. They had strollers that are automatic that just like sway back and forth, so you don't have to be swaying the stroller back and forth. You could be at a restaurant eating and go on your phone and press the app, and then the stroller sways back and forth by itself.
That's so crazy.
I was amazed. My mom was like, that's genius, because my mom said she used to have to do that all the time to get my
Yeah,
brother
so
to
did
shut
I.
up. And
Yep.
the stroller does it by itself now.
See, that's so crazy.
Everything's
Like,
like
all the stuff they
automated. You
have.
don't have to take care of your
And you
kid.
can work it
can
from
just
your
put it on your
phone.
app.
That is so
And then you
crazy.
can like connect the camera to like watch the baby in the stroller, so you
Yeah.
can just still enjoy your food and not physically have to get up and take care of the baby.
Yeah, I remember with Michael, just the difference between like Michael and Bryce and like all the different things they had. Like I can't even imagine, like what's gonna happen for your
Yeah.
baby. Like I remember we had the cameras that we have for Bryce that are still around my house now. Like I
Mhm.
thought that was crazy that I could look on my phone anywhere. Like the one we had for Michael, it was one camera, and I think it had night vision. I'm not sure, but it came with a specific monitor. Like it wouldn't hook up to your phone, and
Oh,
you
like
had
you
to
have to take the
bring
monitor everywhere.
yeah, which I
Mhm.
thought was crazy too because my parents didn't have that.
Yeah.
But This one I can like literally talk to. I can move the camera all up and down. Like it's I can't even imagine.
Yeah, everyone does it by the phone now. Like when I look through the registry, they don't really have like the baby cameras with monitors anymore. All of it's usually through a phone at this point. You just put an app and now you could just
Yeah.
see it like that.
What a time to be alive.
Even the car thing, people were posting that on your segment or your little post thingy saying that to buy the camera mirror that you attach it to your baby with in the back seat, you don't have to turn to look at your baby or look at the rear view mirror. You have the camera on your dash and it sees the baby.
That's so crazy.
So you're not like looking back or staring. It's a camera and you can just see it and you're still focusing on the road. Everyone was like, you need to get that. That is like the smartest thing. They were like, that's my number one like present that I buy at every single baby shower that I go to.
That is so crazy.
It's just, it makes so much sense. Like you don't have to panic. You don't have to constantly look or like freak out. You just like stare at the baby camera.
Yeah, I've never really freaked out though because the baby was usually asleep in the car.
I love that.
But it would have still been nice.
Yeah.
Because
and they're super cheap. They're like
but,
$30. Buy them for one for every car.
Yeah. They're only $30?
They're only $30. Like I thought they were going to be super expensive when I was looking at them.
I need to get one for the boys in the back seat when they're fighting. So I can see. I saw that.
No more guessing of who you need to throw your hand at anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to get one for the boys.
No, for real. It makes so much more sense. Yeah, that was another thing that someone suggested that I thought was super cool. And just like looking at all the stuff and trying to figure out, I mean, everything's freaking automated now. Even the damn bassinets were like moving bassinets. And I was like,
they had like the swaying bassinets and stuff when I was pregnant, but because I knew like it is very true, like the stuff that you buy as a first time mom versus a second time mom, like like it, like I said, putting the bottles in the dishwasher, like you don't need. I mean, maybe for like the first couple months, like I was hand washing everything with like a dye free detergent and like all this stuff, but like girl, by like month 6, less than that probably, I was putting that shit. The dishwasher sanitizes it, and we're all fine. Like this, my whole thing was like when you're starting to feed your babies baby food, right? You put their little spoons in the dishwasher, so it's okay for their spoon to go in the dishwasher, but it's not okay for their bottle to go in the dishwasher.
I just thought that maybe the bottle like shrinks, like what happened to your cup things, like that's why people didn't put it in the dishwasher.
No, they say that
or they're waiting till the dishwasher gets full and you like the bottle quickly. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's not. No, they say that like you have to use like a specific soap and you have to do all this, and I'm like,
that's another thing.
Do you really though? Because like,
my mom says,
do you sanitize your nipple every single time you put the baby on it? Because there's bacteria and stuff on your body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You threw me off for a second because I was like, do you have to do that?
No.
Is that something I need to be doing?
I don't know. I think people are just...
My mom was telling me, she's like, don't forget to put on the registry detergent. And I was like, why do I need detergent? She's like, you need to get baby safe detergent. And I'm like, is it detergent that I have now not baby safe?
No, I mean, they have a brand called like Draft. You don't have to get Draft. I used like I said, the dye-free, chemical-free. I think Tide has a brand, the Clear and Free or whatever.
I think it's like non-scented, which mine is scented because I mean, I cannot have
you have very sensitive skin, and I would definitely get some kind of dye-free thing for you just because the baby might have sensitive skin like you do. But again, like you have to wash your own clothes in it too because it might be at least in the beginning when you're holding the baby, like you're doing skin to skin or whatever, because it could, if you wash your clothes with it, it's no different from the baby's clothes getting washed in it. I didn't think about that either. But just for like the first couple months until their skin kind of thickens up a little bit, but then it's fine. I was washing all my shit together. I didn't know any of that. So that's gonna be great.
It's gonna be me the first month. I don't know what I'm doing.
Neither did I, girl, and you will survive. I promise you. You're gonna hear your baby cry. It's one of 3 things. Well, it could be other things too, but check the poop, no pee, check if they're hungry, and they might be tired. They cry for everything. They can't speak, so they cry because they're tired. They cry because they want to be picked up. They they're bored. Entertain me, peasant.
I love that. Entertain me, peasant.
The first 3 months, girl, you're just trying to survive, and then they start doing cute shit like smiling, and then the best is when they can use their hands.
Yeah.
When they get control over those hands, I mean, it's also the best and the worst.
Because I've had babies pull my hair, and it's like superhuman strength.
They do.
And you have to be so gentle, because one, like, have you ever had your hair like stick into your skin? Like, it hurts.
I've had my hair pulled quite a few times by baby, and they have like Hercules strength.
You have to like casually like be like very gentle to not hurt their fingers, but like let the fuck go of my hair.
Yeah. What I found helps if you can, like, wedge your finger, like, so, they're like this and you, like, push, they're like, "Ah."
I love that.
You, like if they're, like, holding on like this, you, like, wedge your and they, like, let go. A little mom hack for you
It's the
there.
little noise that you make.
That's how
We're gonna test that. We're gonna put the baby in your hair, and then we're gonna do a live demonstration, and we're
I
gonna
did it
see
with
if it
Bryce.
works.
I did it with that kid. Oof.
That's too
Yep.
funny. Yeah, I've had my hair pulled, my earrings pulled, and
Oh,
like my
yeah, the
side
earring is
titty
the
bra.
worst. I have to remember not to wear earrings, that's a whole thing, 'cause the baby will they will latch on. They'll take your glasses. "Look, I can't see, baby, I'm blind."
I
"No,
love that.
baby, no."
No, my
Yeah.
favorite part's gonna be because remember I told you that one time I was holding that lady's baby, and I guess because the baby was breastfed, she kept trying to put my titty down to hand over the baby to you, and she's
She
gonna be
gonna see
like,
all my big old
"Titty!"
boobies. I'm gonna be like, "Ma'am."
She's gonna be like, "This has extra milk."
Yep, nope, no milk in there.
No, that's a fun little
No.
game. Have to
You
be
got
like casually be
silicone.
like, "Let it go. Stop touching the tit. It's not for
Ah.
you."
Yeah, the best time is when they know how to sit up on their own. Like, they can sit up, they can use their hands, so if they drop something, they can grab it themselves, but they're not crawling yet.
Yeah,
Because then they stay, like, right where you put them.
exactly.
They can entertain themselves a little bit. You just, like, surround them with toys. They're alert, they're smiling, they're, like, happy.
A little more capable.
Usually, yeah, they're crying because of something that you can figure out a little bit more. Did you know that babies' cries tell you, like, what they need?
What do you mean?
There's different cries that your baby will do, like, different frequencies and pitches and
They
stuff.
got freaking AI that's trying to figure that out now. That you can use an app to figure out why your baby's crying.
I love that.
I don't know if it's accurate or not. Obviously, I don't have a baby to test it out on. But I thought that was very interesting. That I'm like, you're just gonna have people being like, "What is it? What is
Can you
it?"
cry again into the mic, please? I didn't get that.
Like Shazam. Everyone, be
I
quiet so the
know.
phone can get it.
That's so crazy. I don't think I ever deciphered the whole I've read about it, but I don't think I ever really deciphered, like, the hungry cry. I would just always assume that Bryce was hungry.
I mean, they probably sound similar to you, but they are probably like little bit like pitches are like slightly different.
Mhm.
But like, how the
Same
fuck are
thing
you
with, like,
gonna know?
cat meows, like, it's, like, the same thing, like, I can tell with Milo because 'cause I'm a cat mom, which one is, like, "Mom, sit down and pet me," and then, "Mom, it's treat time."
I love that.
2 very distinctive
Mom, I'm
meows.
hungry.
Yeah, babies, girl, it's not as hard. The Lamaze class, I didn't if you wanna take a Lamaze class, do it. I didn't take a Lamaze class. It's not that I mean, it is hard to
I've
push, but, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just push. Listen to the doctor.
been pushing for years.
You push, they'll tell you, they'll do a
Uh,
couple practice pushes. You do get a practice, and they'll be like, "This is how you do it. Push more like you're taking a shit."
but are you practicing before or after that epidural? Because if you said you're not feeling it during the
I
epidural,
practice after the epidural.
so you still don't fucking feel shit to know.
Well, yeah, that's how you know, like, if I want more
Mm-hmm.
or less
Oh,
or
I get what
whatever.
you're saying. Gotcha.
They'll have their finger in there to feel for a contraction, and they'll have you push, and then they'll be like, "Okay, she's ready to go," and then they'll get everything in. And for me, with Michael, I was in labor for 13 hours, and that was horrible. And then with Bryce, I was in labor all day, but I didn't know I was in labor. At the hospital, I was in active labor, like, by the time I got my thing for maybe, like, 10 minutes. Like, I did 3 pushes.
Really?
And I did a practice push, and they were like, "Okay, stop!" Because the doctor wasn't in there, it was the nurse. So she's like, "Don't push anymore." And I was like, "Okay." So I
That's
went
too
in there,
funny.
3 fucking pushes, and the baby was out. It
Oh,
was
I love that for him.
great.
Speedy Gonzalez, just like he is to this day.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely scary because I definitely thought I was gonna have him on, like, the side of the road, but honestly, I would prefer doing it the way that I did with Bryce, like, waiting, than going super early like I did with Michael. I think I went with Michael and I was, like, 2.5 centimeters dilated, and I was there for 13 hours, and the point that, like, they almost sent me home, and
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't. Like, I fought to be there because, I would've had him at home because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing,
Yeah.
but, yeah, much easier with Bryce just to get there to push instead of hanging out at the fuck 'cause they don't feed you.
Don't. Oh, you said you can't eat.
Yeah, like, I had a smoothie. I didn't know that you couldn't eat, so I had a smoothie from Tropical Smoothie because I'm telling you, I was so early, like, my water broke. I took a shower, I shaved my vag, like, it was great. I got a smoothie,
Yeah.
like, I wasn't really feeling any contractions, and I went to the hospital just because I was nervous, and I thought that that's how it was supposed to be. With Bryce, I
It was
was feeling
time.
all kinds of contractions. I was like, "Ugh." We were timing them, they were coming, like, Travis was to the point where he was like, "You're gonna have another contraction," and I'm like, "No, I'm not, I feel" like, it was crazy. So, at the hospital, like, you know, she was like, "We're gonna probably have to send you home, blah, blah, blah." She's like, "If you don't start dilating." Luckily, I was dilating, but it was like a very slow. I mean, it was constant, but it was very slow. And they
Yeah.
had me like doing laps around the hospital, walking, and ugh. It wasn't until I was like, I think it was like 4.5, 5 centimeters that they gave me the epidural. And then I just had to fucking wait for hours. Not being able to feel my legs, like
Damn.
just laying in bed, and they would like have to roll me over, and oh, it was terrible.
I love that.
I was like so alone. Mike was like so bored. Like he kept hanging out with my family in the waiting room, and I was just
I
in there by
could not
myself.
imagine
And
him.
I'm just like, okay, like where's my husband? I might be going into labor soon. Nope, girl, was not soon. Was my whole family was there too.
Really?
My dad, my aunt, my stepmom, like everyone was there. And they all fucking waited too, 13 hours. My
Really?
dad left because my little brother Chris was with us, and he had to Sunday was our drop off days. He was still going back and forth from my mom and my dad's.
Uh-huh.
So he had to drive Chris to Spring Hill, drove back, and I was still not any closer to
I love that.
it was the worst.
That's gonna be very interesting.
I know. I'm excited to see.
I mean, at least we're close enough to both houses, to your houses and the boys' school, that you can pick up the kids,
Hmm.
get food, walk around, take a nap.
Yeah, you just
come
gotta
back.
like just know the difference between a Braxton Hicks and a contraction.
Oh, I love that, especially when she's saying that I'm already getting those things already. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
So I love that for me.
The contractions are just like Braxton Hicks, except
Painful.
they get well, sometimes Braxton Hicks can feel a little uncomfortable, but the main difference is they're consistent. They get closer in time for a consistent amount of time, and they get progressively more painful.
Oh, I love that for me.
That is a motherfucking contraction. Okay. And it is horrible.
Yay. Looking forward in the next 4 months. 4 months, 5 months.
Hmm. I'll never forget. Oh my god! I waited, and when I got to the hospital with Bryce, I was already like 8.5 centimeters dilated. Like I was almost
Ready to
ready to
go.
go.
Yeah.
And I remember hobbling. Mind you, I was so nauseous.
From the contractions?
Yeah, I was so nauseous, and I had such a bad headache. I was like, I need to get something. So I'm hobbling. I stopped by fucking CVS. I didn't know how far along I was. I
Yeah.
thought, again, like I couldn't remember what it was like to have contractions with Michael, and I didn't want to be at the hospital for 13 hours again. So I'm like in there, and I'm in CVS. I was like, you're gonna have a fucking contraction.
Contraction.
I'm in there. I think I got something for nausea or heartburn or something, and I took it. And I'm like on my way to the hospital, and I'm like hobbling, and I'm having a contraction. This fucking old couple walked by me, and they're like, "Oh my god, she's having a contraction." And I'm
Like
like,
it's like a
"Shut
cute
the
little thing.
fuck up." They're like, "Yeah, you look like you're about to give birth. Congratulations." And I'm like, "You
I'm about to
fucking
give birth right here in front of you.
yeah," because Travis had to like drop me off, but the way they were like doing construction or something, so you still had to like walk a little bit. Or no, Travis asked me, he's like, "Do we drop you off at the front?" And I was still in denial. I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I can walk." So I'm like, "Oh my god, she's having a contraction," and I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
I love that. So supportive.
Yeah, I was in like the contractions were horrible, but I mean, like as soon as they stopped, like I was fine. Like I said, like I talked to Michael on the phone, and the nurse, when she was like triaging me and checking me in, like she thought that I was gonna have to be sent home too.
Yeah.
She's like, "I heard you on the phone talking to whoever you were talking to." She's like, "You did not sound like a lady in labor."
Yeah.
And I was like, and then she checked me and she was like, "Oh my god, did you want the epidural?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And she's like, "You need to get one right now." And I'm like, "Oh shit."
I love that. Because you were almost done with it. You just
That's
needed the
why
baby out.
I
That's
felt so fine. And I think it's because, like, when I was in really crazy active labor with Michael, I was already on the epidural. So I didn't know what it felt like.
it. Yeah.
So with Bryce, I just did not want to be there for 13 hours. And I waited as long as I possibly could. I just didn't want to be sent home.
No, I love
I
that.
almost went to work that day. My boss was like,
I mean, at least
"Megan,
you
you
had
should
a
probably stay
doctor
home."
technically there who could help you too.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was supposed to have a C-section that Monday. It was a Wednesday, and I was in some pain. So I told my boss, I was like, I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm really nauseous,
Yeah.
and I think I'm just gonna have to call out. And he was like, "We've been trying to get you to leave." He's
I
like,
love
"You're
that.
9.5 months pregnant."
Yeah, you might as well go.
Oh,
Why are you still in
I
here?
know. He's like, "It's okay, just go." And I ended up giving birth later that day. So,
I love that.
yep, it was great.
Should have gone into a Starbucks, given birth, and have free Starbucks for life.
Girl, I couldn't handle. I was in so much pain. I couldn't handle it. I could not do it without an epidural. My girl, it was giving birth is horrible.
Oh, I've been hearing. I was telling
With the
Mike
epidural, it's fine, but
I was telling Mike and I was like, I feel like when I said like I wanted a baby and was like super excited about it, I was like, I think I was excited for like March and on.
like having the
Yeah, yeah,
baby.
yeah. Like once the baby, like if I could have FedExed the baby here, great, that would have been awesome, type of thing. But the process of incubating it, has been.
Interesting. You got a long way to go still, so
I
it
know.
gets better, I promise.
I told him I was like, so if I ever complain that someone's like, you wanted this, I'm like, I wanted the baby. I didn't want the process.
It gets better when you start to feel the baby and you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And then it gets very annoying because then you're like, okay, I'm fucking over this baby.
Yeah.
Like, stop moving. And
I'm
then they
waiting
never stop moving. So it's great.
waiting for the process when people are like, food's gonna be so amazing for you. And I'm like, what?
Um,
They're like, your taste buds are gonna be heightened. You're going
yeah.
to love food. And I'm like,
How far along you know? 15 weeks?
16 weeks now.
16?
And I don't freaking like food.
You will. I don't know. I never had a girl, so I don't know if it's different, but
I don't know either. I like chocolate milk. Like, I like
should be
chocolate
slaying the chocolate
milk,
milk.
like ice cream. I don't like actual good food. I don't think
So you're 16 weeks, so you're 4 months?
I think so.
Girl, last time we tried to do math on here and it was so embarrassing
I think it is
watching
4
it back.
months.
16 weeks is 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah, so that's great. You only got 5 left.
Yay!
You're almost at the halfway
Everyone is
point.
telling me like it's gonna go so much. It's gonna go by so fast, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like it.
You will. Around Thanksgiving and stuff, you'll be fine.
Girl, I hope that would be so. Thanksgiving's around the corner. That would be so.
I can't believe it. Oh my God. I can't believe that. It's already
I know, I'm so excited.
that time. But anyway, so we're going to cut this one short because I have to pee, to be honest.
I know that.
So we will see you in the next one.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.